Buongiorno, signori, signora. My name is Jerk, and welcome back to the big show. Do you feel it? Do you feel that in the air? I do. How is everybody doing? It sounds like you're doing great, and I know why you're so sappy. It's because We Jizzle has finally added SAP rounds to the Italian Tech Tree Cruiser, so everyone is popping Prosecco and making love. Now, let's see how everybody's reacting and check the social and bathe in the warmth. Wouldn't you know it? More outrage. Well, rather than allow ourselves to descend into the mountains of madness, let's instead get today's guest out here. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming back our most bellissima of Tier 7 Tech Tree Cruisers. Give it up for Amalfi. Well, hello there, Amalfi. I hate to see you go, but I love watching you leave. Ouch! Okay. She was showing a little too much leg there. Well, here it is, everyone. The new and improved Amalfi, though I hesitate to say improved because absolutely nothing has changed other than the ability to swap HE for SAP at the expense of a 1.5 second longer reload. And judging by the raving lunatics, this is the greatest offense that has ever happened. This 1.5 second penalty will prevent anyone from ever playing this ship. You know, because prior to this change, you saw Amalfi all the time. Well, when every match wasn't packed with 5 battleships or destroyers or HE spamming light cruisers, but that's 95% of the matches right there. And then from that, the most common heavy cruisers you see are Baltimore and Hipper and Wichita, but numbers be damned. It feels like being slapped in the face with a giant pepperoni. So how will we respond? What commander and modules will be used to right this great wrong? Why, it is Giuseppe Mimbelli with Mikawa and Ivan Drago. Essentially the exact same build that I had before, but now we've put Scott out to pasture and brought in Lightful. Sure, he helps lower the reload a little bit, but not really by any noticeable amount. But more importantly, he lowers my detection after firing by, I think, 12%, which is a couple seconds. And you could argue I could put Lemon on there for the same effect, but I don't know. I like having the combo effect of both those smaller numbers that Lightful provides. But anyway, let's talk about that 1.5 second reload penalty. That's going to go ahead and put your reload at 17 seconds base. But of course, we don't live in a vacuum. So you put your reload mod on there, and now we're down to about 15.8, which is about where the base reload starts on PC. But what we got here that they don't have on PC is our commander system. A commander system where you could, if you really wanted, get your reload down to 12.6 seconds, which is not possible on PC, short of getting down to like 5% health and playing some of those game modes that buffs your reload. Now, this build for me has my reload at a very respectable 13.7 seconds, which, do I wish I had a reload of 10 seconds? Of course. I'm not different than anyone else in this game. My ship should be invincible, and it should be able to destroy everyone on the red team at no risk to myself. But until Ouija allows that, then I will have to play inside the rules that they have decided upon. And frankly, I don't see the issue. With one big but. So let's talk about your big butt, Simone. SAP shells, what are they, how do they work, and do they in fact suck? SAP, semi-armor piercing. Many will describe this as taking HE and AP and mixing them together, and with good reason, as that's pretty accurate. You have the aspect of HE of the shells exploding on impact, and you have the aspect of AP of penetration angles. Unlike HE, there are no fires being started, but with no overpens. But you also have a chance to ricochet, albeit at much improved angles with our chance to ricochet starting at 70 and our guarantee at 80 degrees. So pretty good angles. And if you're looking to commit the formula for what armor your SAP shells can penetrate, let me just stop you right there and say, you don't want to know. It is much easier to just commit it to memory, and in this case, Amalfi can penetrate 55 millimeters. Are you following me still? If you are, then now you are armed with all the information you really need as far as where to aim these shells, and that's anywhere that has 55 millimeters or less armor, at anything that is less than 80 degrees from you, and at any range, because penetration does not decrease over distance with these shells. Whew, we are nerding out hardcore. But what about HE, jerk? How does it compare? Fine, a full salvo of HE has a realistic potential of 9,300, which is only 2/3 the realistic potential of SAP. It also has 1/6 pin, which means you can only pin up to 33 millimeters of armor max, and that has far less places that you can hit for damage than with SAP. And yes, you may get a fire, you may. And a fire could cause, what, 10,000 damage over time? But that is putting a lot of potential damage into the hands of RNGesus, as opposed to pretty much guaranteed damage from these SAP shells. All of that is a very long-winded way to say, if you want to use HE, go right ahead. But you shouldn't. If you are struggling to have success with this ship, then it is time to take a long, hard look in the mirror, because yes, SAP raises the skill floor by a lot. Removing the HE crutch is going to make this whole line far more difficult for most players. But what adding SAP does is raise the skill ceiling, not astronomically. We need that 10-second reload for that, which isn't going to happen, but still, proper usage of SAP is going to make your impact on the game higher and bring a unique aspect to this line of ships, which rewards playing aggressively and, more importantly, rewards positioning. Speaking of rewards, here's the 5th ship that we need for the Kraken, and they are flat broadside. And you can watch over this sequence as the SAP pumps 30,000 damage into this Richelieu. Not in one salvo. We will not be getting huge hits at first because our dispersion is pretty wonky at these ranges, and there is a fair amount of damage saturation already on the Richelieu. But if you watch these shells hit, the closer I get, you will see the numbers rack up. And I can tell you from the 1.5 million experience I have in this ship, the AP nor the HE would be capable of doing this. And honestly, is this reload too long? I mean, it doesn't seem that bad to me. Like I said, I get it. I understand why people would want it shorter, but honestly, shorter? Don't we think that that might just make this a little too powerful? And speaking of, this ship and the sap being added to it, all it's making me really, really want is Venezia. Can we imagine 15 shells of this going out there? That's a realistic potential of 31,000 damage per salvo. And granted, it'll have a long reload when it gets here. Anyway, here it is. We should be able to have this right now. Our shells are out. That's how it's done. And we have Blue Team. Why do you do this to me? No. We're not going to do another terrible Marlon Brando impression, but oh, seeing that get yoinked, man, that hurt. I mean, that's not really a yoink. We were all shooting at it anyway. It's all fair. And there I am telling the team to get back. I don't think that they really do it. In fact, hold on a second. But no, hold on. Let me just state this. You will see. I don't know. Maybe we'll skip through it. But the Odin on our team eventually says, hey, support this ship and everybody get back. So the Odin knew what was going on. So props to them. All right, let's speed this up to the thrilling finale. And while we do that, let me just say this is not a fluke. In the matches I've been playing in the Amalfi this week, they have all been very strong. I actually saved a couple 3,400. I know I had a 3,800 base XP game that I was thinking I might have to use if I could not secure the Kraken. Sometimes it's a curse to have painted myself into this corner, but as it were, this one comes out. So anyway, yes, here we are. Final foe, final boss. Our carrier as far across from the map as they could. Their carrier as far across the map as they could get. Truly spectacular carrier play. I am noticing that there are torps out, so I'm going all for it right here. You see that I switched over to AP because I'm like, Daddy needs citadels. I don't even know if I can actually hit citadels on the impeccable at this, but I was guessing I could. And here comes the salvo, and this is going to net us Kraken 456 in the Amalfi. All right, let's see this scoreboard. 3,397 XP for a very good game and a good match on both sides. So GG, and that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you are still here after hearing all that theoretical damage BS, then give this video a like. If you never even knew Amalfi had AP, give the video a dislike. Questions, comments, leave them down below, and if you want to be here for whoever we have on next, might it be the crotch fester? Yuck. Think about hitting subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks. I will get back out there for another, and we will talk then.